Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Produmex WMS webinar for end of Q2. So it's a live webinar. So during the session of today, you have access to Q&A in the chat. So don't hesitate to ask questions. We try to answer it during the session. Or at the end of the session, so we will have a moment for the Q&A as well. So today I'm going to be animating the session with my colleagues, so Miguel, the logistic product manager, and Robert, the logistic consultant expert on our solution.
Hello, welcome everybody.
Hello, welcome.
So in terms of agenda, what we're going to do, what we're going to see. So we're going to start with the recent innovation. So not only latest release, but even some features that have been released recently in the last, let's say, 12 months. Then we're going to have a focus on the latest release. So latest features that were released in the 2506 version. Then you're going to have a kind of to discover the future ideas, future features that we are working on or we are considering right now. Okay, so it's a bit a kind of anticipation of the roadmap. Okay. And then Robert is going to show you some use case on how to use the customization framework on our mobile device, on the FAT client. Okay. And I'm going to talk about cross-docking flow using Produmex WMS. So several ways to manage cross-docking flows with our product. And at the end, we will have some minutes to Q&A. So again, it's a live session, so questions are welcome. And let's start. Let's jump for the first part.
Yes, Thomas, thanks. So yeah, as Thomas mentioned, let's have a walk through the most recent innovations in last year. Very fast. So the first one is the WMS Web API, which is nothing else than a middle layer to put at the disposal of third-party applications the functionalities of WMS. The added value, the pretended added value, is to integrate any kind of third-party application as a warehouse automation system, picking robot, a quality system. So that was one of the highlights of 2024. Second one is the mobile client customization framework, which has the goal of trying to put more flexibility on the mobile client flows. We can do things as click buttons by default, hide buttons, set default values on input screens, and the last two ones we will see live examples with Robert right after my presentation. Validate inserted values before moving on, so before clicking on forward, or sort or filter item list on the mobile client. So those were the highlights of 2024. Now let's go directly to the main topic of today, which are 2025-06 innovations. We have two main things. Apart from the things that you will see with Robert about the customization framework, we have two main topics. One is both of them are related with the cycle counting. The first one is the stock count audit, which has no differentiation with regards the current functionality of the cycle count. The added value is that we will store anything that we will do on cycle counting, right? That will improve the traceability and will serve as a proof for possible audits. I said that there is no differentiation with current functionality, but there is a small one, which is that we can create jobs. We can name cycle count jobs and group under these jobs the cycle counting of several locations. For the rest, yeah, all the jobs will be recorded, all the locations, all the item details that we are counting, and is compatible with every configuration. You'll see that, yeah, it's recording additional data of device ID, user, and so on. Let's see it on the system. So yeah, what I'm going to show is just the current cycle count functionality and how it is stored by the stock audit count functionality. We'll use my item 29, which is a batch managed and best before date also. It's a best before date item. That's what I'm showing now in the demo. Then regarding the settings, if we go to the organizational structure cycle count controller, there are two prerequisites. One is to set on the audit count. We will see is the first one now on the cycle count controller. So it's that first one. Activate the stock count audit. That's one prerequisite for storing data. Well, I will use only registration, but it's compatible also with lost and found. And the other prerequisite is that we need to set on the show difference during cycle count. Let's see now the cycle count itself. Well, yeah, what I'm going to do is to count these two locations, B5 and B6. This is the current situation. I have 10 units of each one for a certain batch and certain best before dates. So that's the current situation. Okay, I'm gonna set up a job for that. So peak locations, no peak locations, these two locations that I have mentioned. And you have also the chance to name the job that you are creating. So I name it like this, click on update, then the job is generated. And when I go to my scanner, logistics, inventory, cycle count with task, my B5 and B6 belongs to CN1 zone, count everything. And now what I'll do is just copy the detail, because what we will do is for the B5, instead of 10, we will count 9. And we'll see how that is translated to the process cycle count table. And for the B6 location, I will count with no difference. So there is 10, I will count also 10, and that will show how also the countings with no difference are stored with this new feature. So yeah, I'm just copying the data. As I said, for B5, I'm counting 9. When I click a stop, yes, there is a difference of -1 because before it was 10. We can see it on the process cycle count table. If I click to refresh, it's not coming the line, but why? Because I need to click on move forward on the mobile client. So, and that's why it's mandatory to set it on, because that's the point where we are pushing the data. So when I move on, then the line is reflected on the process cycle count screen. And now what I'll do is to count the B6 with no difference. Yeah, and so in the current status, which is 10 units, I will copy all the data again, batch, well, SSC first, then batch, best before date is still my item 29. So I copy the batch. You double click on one line on the inventory, you'll see this screen. Maybe that's not known by everybody, and you get all the details of the line. So I have just copy best before date 10, which is no difference when I click a stock. And yes, there are no difference with the previous stock situation. So now if I click on refresh, I will see the new line with 0 difference. So 10 before, 10 in the last count, 0 difference. And now it becomes the interesting part of the demo, because I'm showing the two tables where we are storing the data. This is for headers. So we have one line per each location. So we have the header with the job, and then one line per each location, B5 and B6. And then when we move document entry 15 and 16, which is the link with the lines table. So now we see the lines table, and we see that the link is 15 and 16, and these are the counts that I did, 9 and 10. So everything is stored on this CCL8, CCLL. Yes, so that was all regarding the stock audit count and how the data is stored on the new tables. Now what we are going to see is the recount flow, which allow us to recount something that was previously counted. We will start the demo from the end, from the situation that we just got in the previous demo. And what is the benefits of this new recount flow is, of course, try to avoid errors, to get the inventory right. And also something very interesting is that you can easily modify the amount of one item on allocation without counting everything again. The limitation of this new recount flow is that it's only compatible with registration. Okay, it's also compatible with different quality statuses. So if we have two lines with the same stock details but different quality status, we will see two lines and we will be able to count them separately. But okay, let's see the hands-on example. I think we will start by the process cycle count. Well, we start by the settings. So I have my stock count audit on. I must have the registration mode. Yes, I do have. Yeah, and something very interesting that I will also mention during the demo, so show different season, is that hide current stock quantity. So we will do a blind count on the locations. Yeah, something interesting. These two previous lines were counted with the lost and found mode. So if I select them, you see that the recount button is not active. That's why it's only compatible with registration mode. But if I select any of my lines of the item 29, then the recount button becomes available. Also, something different that you will see is that we have three columns now for the countings. One is showing the difference, the other one the system, the other one the last count. We can also filter by job name, and when we hover over the last count, we can see all the counts on that location. We will see that later because I have just created a recount task. So when I come to inventory cycle count, I see a new button which is recount task, and there I will have the task that I have just created for my B5 location. Now you see, and that's the importance of the setting that I have just mentioned during the extension parameters. We hide the quantity. Now let's count it. If you remember, the system quantity is 10. I count it on 9. Now I'm gonna count it on 10 again, and we will see all of that in the process cycle count screen. But now you see that once I count it, I can see I can see the quantity, and that's very useful because when I have count different stock lines, I can um, check in a view if everything is okay, and then click on the stop button. So I check that everything is okay. I click on the stop. Yes. Yeah, the system count was 0. I have again 0, but I will see all the counts here when I hover over. Well, yeah, I need to move forward as before because that's what I'm using to push the data. When I click on refresh, then I'll see that the last count has changed. You see, from 9 to 10, and I have done already in these demos 2 counts, one with 9, the other one with 10. I could decide and proceed with any quantity here, or I could, and this is what I will do, a new recount. So I do a new recount. Then yeah, I still have the button. I will now count very fast. 13, 13, push it forward. It's okay. I can see the quantity. Click on stop, push the data to the table. Yeah, there are a difference of 3. And then what I will do is just process this last count. I will take it as true, and then the line will disappear. Last thing is that yeah, I wanna show how all of this is also recorded on my tables. So cycle count lines. The last line that I will see now is the one that I counted 13. So everything is still recorded. Okay, so that was it regarding the cycle count improvements on 2025-06. Now let's have a look of future ideas.
Miguel, we have already two questions regarding the cycle counts. Uh, is the recount flow, will it support the lost and found or only the registration mode? Is it planned to include also the lost and found method in the future?
Well, I wouldn't say that is planned. What we are doing now is launching with registration mode and see the reaction of the market. Wouldn't also say that we deny to include it in the future. It will depend on the market reaction. And what I can say is that it's more complicated because with the loss and fun is a mode that allows you to move, so to count and keep moving, keep picking. So yeah, if we want to revert all of that, it would be much more complicated than in the registration mode, but it's doable. And I don't say that we will not do it in the future.
Okay. There is another question. Is does the recount flow support serial number, serialized item?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, yes, but let me check that because in general, yes, but there was uh, on the recount feature. Good question. Yeah, let me check that because I think that's something that we left for the. I need to check.
Okay.
The plan is to include it anyway. If it's not in this version, the plan is to include it in the next version. But let me check and I'll tell you more about it. Because yeah, the initial plan was to include it, but then at the end, I don't remember if we cut that corner and we didn't do it for this version.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for the questions. So yeah, and now future ideas. I don't know if there is any other one. No, that's okay. So future ideas, very fast. I don't want to steal more time from you. So what is this is already compromised for the next version. Um, is to show UDFs on the mobile client. What you will need to do is to create a SAP Business One UDF to do a small configuration on the item master data. So select the UDF that you have just created. Uh, Somehow select the flows that where you want to see it, and then you will be able to see it in this select a product screen, right? In this way. So you will select an item and you will see the UDF on the bottom. It is possible to see more than one UDF. If you extend this, you will see more. That's already compromised. That's already published on the public roadmap. Um, so yeah, something of that I hope that you will enjoy and it will be useful. And then two future ideas. One, if you have been present on the partners event, you'll see a demo of BEAS where we have a screen on the SAP Business One desktop, and we can communicate with it via natural language, so by voice or by text. The idea is to do this in more than BEAS, so in at least in WMS, but in most of our products, to do basically two things. One is to do reporting in natural language. So show me, for example, all stock expiring next week. The other one is to do actions. So using our web API and connect it to the AI, for example, to create a move order for an item from destination A to destination B. Okay, that's an idea for the future. And then what is also coming, and we have a compromise, is to to deliver our first functionality in the SAP web client. There are a couple of ideas here. One is inventory report. The other one is creating pick list proposals from sales orders. If you have any idea, please let us know, because we are on the definition of what we are going to do. The main idea is to use user personas which are doing their task on SAP Business One as sales, purchase, or quality, and create a functionality for them. Yeah, that was all from my side.
Okay, thanks a lot, Miguel. So
Yeah.
Robbie will take over. And yeah, the key takeaway that have been released is the improvement of the cycle count. You've seen what Miguel just shared with us. We know that our cycle count flow currently have some weakness. And so this is what we are working on. So to keep the data in the database, even after the cycle count have been processed, to be able to recount cycle, an item in a location, that's the two biggest features, let's say, released about cycle counting. And I think it's a very important step to improve cycle count flow for the future. So, Robert, you're sharing your screen now, I think. Are you?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I'll give you the stage.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So now I'm going to show you a few examples for mobile customization, and yeah, this can help us to optimize the flows, and it is a very useful tool. So here, if we start the mobile client application, then there is a parameter that we have to use when we start it, and then we will have access to the customization functionality. Here we will see a gear icon, and on the screen where you want to add the customization, then you can just enable it, and then you can click on the object and the customization window will appear. At first, what I'm going to do is to hide a few buttons. So for example, we don't need the pick list for production button because we are using the picking, and we want to hide this button because we don't want to make any confusion for the employees who are going to use it. After we enable the customization window, here we can see this visible checkbox. So after selecting the object, here we can uncheck it, and then when we will start the application in a normal mode, then the button will disappear. The other easy configuration here is that we can also define a button that we want to press automatically. So, for example, during the reception flow, if we want to work only with purchase orders, then on the screen where we can select for the base type, then here we can automatically press the order button. And for that, here we are going to set this as a default button, and then we are going to set 0 to as a timeout. If it is not 0, for example, it is 2, then this window will appear for 2 seconds, and then the button will be pressed automatically. So let's see how it works, or how we can configure it. So now I started the Produmex WMS mobile client in a customization mode. And here I'm going to select the production menu. And then I enable the gear icon, and I press on the pick list for production. And I'm going to set this to invisible. I turn off this one, and now I'm going to the purchase reception, and here on this screen I'm going to enable it again, and I press on the order button, and then I set the default button with 0 timeout to this. Okay, and now I'm going to start the application in a normal mode. Okay, so now if I'm going into the production menu, then my button just disappeared, so I cannot use it. And here on the purchase, when I select the reception, then the system will automatically select the order button, and now I can select my purchase order, and I can follow the steps. Okay, here on this purchase order, I have 2 items, and I'm going to use one of these for the next example. Here I'm going to use bin locations as target locations instead of dots. And here I'm going to read and load the default location of the item. And here I'm going to put it here into the input location. This is necessary because if you want to press the next button automatically, then at first we have to set a value here into the input field. And from the customization, we can also press this forward button automatically with 0 timeout value that we can also configure in the customization. So let's go back to the system. Okay. So now I'm going to follow and continue the process. I'm selecting, I disable the customization mode. I'm selecting the order. Then I select the product. I set the quantity. There are no other logistic units. Okay, and here I can set the destination location. So now I'm going to enable the customization mode. I'm clicking an empty space on the screen, and then here in the customization window I have this events tab, and here I can use the load event to put value into the input field and then press automatically the next button. So I'm just going to create a query. Here I'm defining the name of the query. Then I press the save button. And here, if I open the query manager in the SAP, then here you can see that the system just created a query for that. Here I can find the available parameters that we can use in the query. So now I just put the customization here into this query, and then I'm going to start the application in a normal mode. Okay. I'm selecting the purchase reception. The system automatically press the order button. I'm selecting the order. Then I select my item. I set quantity 2. And then I press the next button. There is no other product on the logistic unit. And then the system will automatically set the default location, and then it will do the reception. So if I select the item, then here this is my stock that I just received to the storage location. Okay, and there is one other thing that is a new thing. Here we can also do validation on an input field, and we can also filter a list. So in the next example, what I'm going to do is to use the ad hoc movement and the partial ad hoc movement type. And here, for example, I created two different zones in my organizational structure, and I want to allow the partial movement only in this zone. So that means that when I will go here and select the partial logistic unit movement, then here I want to validate the scanned or entered bin location, and if it is not from this zone, then I want to block the process. And here, if I select the location from this list, then I want to filter this list, so only the location should appear that is in my zone. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to go back to this. I'm going to restart the application in customization mode. Okay, and then I select logistic, move, ad hoc move, partial, and now I'm going to enable the customization mode, and I'm clicking again on an empty area, and then here on the events I have and I'm going to use this next event field, and here I'm going to create a new query for the validation. Okay, I'm going to save it, and I need another customization to filter this list. So I'm going to enable the customization mode, and now here you can see that a list event appeared. So here I'm going to create this new list event. Okay, and then I have to reopen this query manager, and now you can see the two new query, and here in the validation I can see the available fields, and then I have to create a query, and this will be the message that will appear if I'm choosing a wrong bin location, and this solution requires one result column with validation error name, and if it is not empty, then the system will block the process. And then here in the filter query, I have two columns. One is the row filter, and one is how do we want to sort the result. Okay, so now I'm going to start the mobile client in a normal way. Okay, and let's see, logistic move, ad hoc move, and partial movement. And now I'm going to type a location from a different zone. If I want to validate it, then my message appears and I cannot go further. If I enter one of these locations, then we can continue. Now I go back, and here if I press the select location button, then the list is filtered, and now it contains only these two locations that I have in this zone. Okay, and that was it. That was my last example.
Okay, thank you, Robbie. So, as you've seen, the customization framework of the mobile device is still enhancing a lot, and we will still enhance it also in the future. So it's not over. We want to go further, and those was just a couple of examples on how to use it. But there are hundreds of cases out there, depending on each customer case, on how to use it. So I've seen your question, Miguel. I've seen your question. So there are still some limitation on the mobile device. We know it, but we are trying to work on it, to improve it, and as well to make it more flexible. Because two years ago, there were no flexibility at all on the mobile device, and now we have the possibility to implement automation, validation rule, to act on the list as well. And it's not over. We are going to still work on it to improve and open the mobile device, the mobile client more in the future. So thank you, Robbie. And so for the last part of this session, I'm going to talk about the cross-docking flow using WMS. So there are several ways to manage cross-docking flow using WMS. So I'm going to show you several examples to illustrate my word. So at first, I'm going to describe the standard cross-docking flow using the cross-docking entry in the menu of the mobile device. So basically, there is no stock on hands. So there is a sales order with two items. And so you use the SAP procurement wizard to create a purchase order linked to that sales order. And so when you use the cross-docking flow on mobile device, how it's going to act, it's going to allow you to proceed to a goods received PO in SAP using the mobile device with both items. And from there, it will detect that this is 100% of the sales order. And so WMS will generate automatically the delivery notes without any user action. So you receive the goods and we will create the delivery notes. And so basically, to summarize it, it's you ship immediately what you have received. There is no time to expect or to store the goods somewhere, some staging parts. It's a direct shipment of what you have received when it's linked to a sales order. Same example, but with one more step. So it's still the standard cross-docking flow on the mobile device. So in that case, I got some part on hands, but not all. So I got 3 items in my sales order, the A, B, C, and only A and B are not on hands. So I'm ordering them to my vendor. But the C, I got it on stock, so I don't have to order it. And so how it's going to be, I'm going to receive the goods using the cross-docking flow on mobile device again. So I'm going to generate a goods received PO for both items, the A and the B, okay? And then WMS will capture the fact that, okay, there is one missing item I got on hands. So WMS will generate the pick list trade on after goods received. So again, no user action. You jump from goods received to pick list. And when pick list is done for item C, then we got the delivery note created in SAP. So this flow is when you need to complete procured item with an item on hand. And again, it's you ship the items immediately after reception. So you receive what's missing and you ship it with the third item directly without any staging time in your warehouse. So just to show you a flow, so that's the flow I just described. So I'm starting from a sales order and I've created a purchase order using SAP Procurement. So the first two lines are in my PO, okay? And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to receive this PO with the first two items. I'm going in purchase and I'm going to select the cross-docking entry. So not reception, but cross-docking entry. I see the PO, which is linked to a sales order. And so I'm going to receive that PO and generate a GIF in SAP. So I get to enter all the classic information, so transportation document number, and then I get to select my items that I want to receive. So I select the first one, I validate the quantity, and I will put the second one on the same SSCC to create a mixed SSCC. And what's interesting is next. I'm going to obtain the label, like as usual, let's say, in a reception flow. So it's going to pop up on my screen now. Okay, boom. Here is the label. The SSCC that I've just received. Okay, and now I'm going to move forward. So WMS will post the goods receipt in SAP. This is what is going on in the background. Okay, and just after the goods receipt have been posted, WMS will generate the pick list. So we see on mobile device that now it's processing the cross-docking operation. So it's jumping from goods receipt to pick list directly. And so the pick list have been created in SAP. You can see the goods receipt PO have been posted. And from there, I'm going to pick the third item and I'm going to ship my goods. So I got to go on A021. I'm starting a picking flow so I can have movable location if I got it activated. I can generate a new SSCC or put my last item on top of the first two items. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to scan existing SSCC. And I'm going to pick my milk in A021 location. So I scan the product. I will validate the quantity. And that's it. And now WMS will release a shipment label. So that's classic also setting. Okay, so this is my SSCC with my ship to information. And WMS is going to generate the delivery note straight on. So there is no question, push the delivery note directly. And so we're going to obtain the delivery note printed as well. And I'm going to refresh the sales order in SAP. You can see now it's closed. Okay. The delivery notes have been printed in the warehouse. So here is the delivery note. Okay, so I can put it on my pallet. And on the relationship map in SAP, the flow is over. I got the delivery after the goods receipt. So this is cross-docking flow, the standard one done by WMS. Now, based on that, I wanted for some demo, for some customer case, work on that flow and try to find another way without that automatic shipping after reception, because we got some customers, they are waiting after reception before to ship the goods to the customer. So this is why I worked a bit on it, and I found a way to manage it a bit differently, still with standard features from WMS, but with a bit more flexibility. So in that case, I will use the pick list proposal to support my cross-docking flow. So in that flow, I still have a sales order with 3 items, but what I've done, I said that item A is procured to a first vendor, item B is procured to a second vendor, so I get 2 different POs, and the item C is on hand. I got it on stock, so I don't need to purchase it, I got it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to generate a pick list proposal straight on. And so in that case, I'm going to reserve my item on hand and to allocate it to the sales order. So this is what I want to do. And this is the difference with the first flow. in this flow, I got an allocation of my item at the first minute I've entered my sales order. And then I will move forward. I will receive the first item. I will generate a new pick list proposal with the item I just received, sorry. And so I will have the pick list proposal with item A and item C on it. That's still waiting for item B. Moving forward, I receive item B, and I'll be able to generate another pick list proposal with all the 3 items together. And so the stock will be reserved, allocated to that sales order. And as far as my proposal is completed, then I can generate a pick list. And so in the warehouse, the operation can be done, okay? And now I can ship the goods. And so difference with the first example and classic, the standard cross-docking flow is that I'm going to allocate my item on hands from the very beginning, and I'm going to choose when I want to ship my goods to the customer at the end. So I can wait all the item to reach my facility, and then I call my customer and I say, okay, I got everything on hands. When do you want me to ship the goods to you? And so you can defer the delivery note creation and the pick list creation until the customer accepts to receive it. So that's the difference, and that's the point of this flow. And so to show you how it looks in SAP, so I recorded it as well. And so as a base, I got my sales order with 2 linked purchase order, the 11 and 12. So 1 item per purchase order. And so at first, I'm going to create a pick list proposal. Okay. And so here I will have only 1 item on it, the one that I got on hands, my milk, but not the 2 others because I don't have it in stock, because those items are procured for sales order, not for stock. And so then some days are moving forward, and I'm going to receive the first item. So purchase order 11. So classic PO, and so I'm going to receive my goods. Okay. I'm going to scan my product, enter the data, and I'm going to create my stock in SAP. So I got a label as well that is released by WMS. So still is standard behavior of WMS. And maybe you've missed that point, but I didn't select the cross-docking flow. I've made a reception with the reception flows. So I'm not using the cross-docking features anymore. I'm using the standard reception. So the good receipt PO have been posted. So we are going to see that in SAP. Okay, I got the first good receipt PO. And now I can re-click on the this proposal, and WMS is able to identify that there is 1 more item available. So it's going to close the first list proposal and create a second one with both items on it. I got now 2 items on hands. So I got 2 items in my pick list proposal, and they are grouped on a new pick list proposal. I don't have 2 different pick list proposals. I got only 1 with both items on hands. I will receive the second PO. So that will be my coffee filter. And so same thing, same flow, classic reception, not cross-docking flow in that case. And I'm going to create as well my stock in SAP. So the label will be released, the stock will be received, GRPO will be posted. Okay. And so relationship map, just to show you that I got a second GRPO posted. So the stock now is available in SAP. And again, I can refresh the proposal, and WMS will identify that, okay, I got a new item available, so I can replace my proposal and generate a third one with all the 3 items all together. And from that, I can then generate the pick list. So all those actions, I've done it manually, but that can be done by the robot itself. This is a very standard behavior of WMS. There is, again, nothing customized. That's only using standard option from WMS. And from now on, the pick list is released, so I can go on mobile device and I can go the pick list. I can go for picking the 3 items. So I need to pick the first 2 items. They are still on my reception dock in my scenario, but they could be in a staging location, cross-docking location, or whatever. You can even imagine to print an information on the label. In Crystal Report, you can put conditional to print, okay, put this is cross-docking for sales order 10. and so then the user can highlight it in a specific location in reception dock. So I picked the first item, I picked the second item, and now I got the third item to be picked, so my milk. I got to specify where I want to put it on top of one existing SSCC, so I selected one. And now I got to A021, I scan my item GTIN 14, I confirm the quantity, and all items are picked, okay? I obtain my shipping label. So the job is over, and I've set in my system that I want automatic shipping. I don't want to shipping, I want automatic shipping. So that's a setting in WMS. And so delivery note is posted to SAP automatically, but again, that's optional. I got a delivery note printed next to me, so that is released in the warehouse next to me. And in SAP, the flow is over. You're going to see that the sales order is closed and the relationship map is completed. I got both PO closed by GRPOs, and I got my sales order closed by a delivery note. So everything has been done. So the takeaways of that flow, I'm using this option, which is a standard option. It's activated almost everywhere. Try to group item on one proposal. So the way it works, WMS will look at the open pick list proposal, and if nothing has been done on that sales order, no picking, nothing, if there is one more item, it will close the initial proposal and create another one with one more item every time. That's a standard behavior, but pretty interesting to avoid to split the picking of one sales order in different proposals. And in that flow, what you've seen, what is interesting compared to the standard cross-docking flow, it will reserve the stock from the very beginning of the sales order. So what is on hand will be allocated, and that's something very important because you're going to securize the fact that you're going to be able to ship the sales order as soon as you got everything received. And second part, you're going to be able also to release the pick list whenever you want. So again, as soon as you receive all the goods, or maybe you will wait for the green light from the customer saying, okay, now I accept to receive the goods. And so this is for me, let's say the summary of this is with that flow, you're going to make sure to serve the customer sales order as soon as possible. So as quick as possible, or maybe when the customer will desire it, but you will optimize it, securize it, and be able to be flexible depending on the customer expectation. So that's it for the cross-docking flow. I hope it was interesting. And so, as a conclusion, before the Q&A, the next milestone that we want to share with you. So this is the first webinar, the first quarterly webinar for WMS for a long time. And we want to repeat this experience in the future. So how it's going to work, you're going to receive in the next days a survey to ask you for feedback about that session. So the format, the content, everything. The idea for us will be to consider your feedback and to be able to improve the webinar for the future. We want it to be rich. We want it to bring you material, news about the product. So latest release, roadmap, and two best practices or usage of WMS. That's more or less the content we want to produce. And so the idea is, okay, is the format okay for you, and what content would you want to see? So in terms of best practices or use case, we can also pick one of your ideas and consider it for future webinar and treat a specific point in future webinar as well. In terms of material, during next summer, we are going to release also a white paper to illustrate an integration between Web API and automated warehouse, so kind of Cardex, for example, would be an example. It's not how to manual, it's more to illustrate how to do it for a specific case. Then the idea would be to reuse that, but adapt it for each customer case because this kind of integration is nothing you can copy paste 100% from one customer to the other. So it's again more to share with you how to manage it for as an example. And also an article about integration between WMS and Inspect. So the idea of that would be how to align WMS quality status after Inspect quality control. So there are possibility to update the quality status based on the inspection order. And last date, very important, next webinar, so same format, is planned to be organized on the 15th of October, so in 3 months. That will be for Q3 release. It's planned the QC release end of September, and so this is why we plan the webinar 2 weeks after to be able to talk about that release, to mention what have been released, and also again to have, as I mentioned, the future content and also 2 use cases or best practices in the webinar. So now this is Q&A part, and so yeah, if you have question, we have a few minutes left, so don't hesitate. I see we have a question, and in any case, you can still reach out to us in the future offline if you have questions, and we'll be pleased to answer you. So, guys, have you seen the question in the chat? I don't know if you review it already.
Reading.
Yeah, so I don't know if there is something in the roadmap. I know that in the latest release, there have been something done to align the quality status after a BIAS quality control. So it's not when to create a quality control in BIAS. For the moment, what have been released is how to react after a QC have been done in BIAS. And so currently, after a QC is done in BIAS, you get the transfer that needs to be done, still using BIAS. And so in that transfer window, now you're able to select a bin location from WMS, and you're able also to select quality status from WMS, reason, and so to do inventory transfer that will update as well the quality status of WMS based on that. But yeah, I'm not sure regarding your question that this is considered, because the fact is that WMS is receiving with one single quality status, and it's always the same quality status at reception. So in your case, would mean that every 4th delivery you want a different quality status. And so standard integration is not supporting it right now.
No, and it's not planned, but I think that there's for sure a way to do that with BIAS, with customization on BIAS.
Yeah. Maybe we need to move them. But the QC order is created by BIAS. So the QC order should be created if you get the option. Because BIAS is checking the good receipt PO, and so if BIAS got the option check only every 4th delivery, then BIAS is supposed to create a QC every 4th delivery. Whatever, if you receive with WMS, with SCAN, or with SAP, and this shouldn't have any impact because we are using the AI API and good receipt PO of SAP, so that should be standard transaction. Shouldn't have impact on QC creation. It's more the limitation I see is more on WMS quality status. That is 100% of time the same in the reception.
Yeah, for example, Actually, yeah, you could, for example, move it to a specific location with has. So there are several workarounds. The one that Jan is proposing is also a good idea, but you could also move it to a location which has a default quality status whenever you want to do a quality check, and then this stock is quarantined.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see different workarounds, but nothing planned specifically to be done in the standard integration regarding this feature.
Yeah. And we have a next question. Can can you not use the move script? No, it's not a question. I think it's a suggestion.
Exactly.
Move script to
For
change the quality status of the API. So yeah, to change the quality status, you need to create a move, and the move will be with same bin location. Well, you can change it, but if you just want to update the quality status, then the source bin location will be equal to target bin location, but you're going to change only the quality status. You have initial quality status and target quality status. And I guess in the web API, there is a method to do it now as well, Miguel.
Mhm.
So the
Yeah,
web API can also support it. So
yeah,
yeah,
you can also call the web API. Maybe you can even do it from BEAS also when you are triggering the QC inspection. So that's why I was mentioning is for sure a way to do that with a customization.
yeah. Okay, well, it's 5:02. So thank you all for attending this webinar. Hope to see you again in 3 months. I hope you have been pleased with the webinar format and content. And yeah, please don't hesitate to complete the survey you're going to receive. This that will be very interesting for us and will allow us to improve this webinar because again we want to create a periodic webinar and to keep it very interesting for you. This is what we aim to do. So every feedback will be very welcome. So thanks everyone. Thanks Robert. Thanks Miguel for today.
Thank you, everybody. See you after summer.
Yeah. Happy
Relax,
summer vacation.
relax, and
Thank
don't think too
you
much.
for joining. Yeah.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.